This first trash pad, just chain in the ranged ads, if there are any. It's kind of RNG as to how many ranged ads spawn and how many melee ads spawn. And as the main tank here, you want to lead the archer to your off tank. Now, Atmos and I have tanked this place a few times together before, and we already have someone dead. So we know what to do, but communication is really key between the tanks. Especially if you never tank together, or especially if you're in a progression group. That's it. Who died?
Atmos.
What the fuck, Atmos? How'd you die? You're a tank. Alright, so anyway, this one, I suggest you don't put any dots down as a tank there, because it does aggro, soft aggro the Sun Eater on you. If you're the main tank, it's really up to you if you want to stack these together like so, as I'm doing on the stream. Or leaving the sword and board guy for your off tank, but it doesn't really matter. We have these stacked, and you want to make sure as the main tank you stack the archers as well once you pull pretty early. Now some groups don't do this because obviously it's quite a lot of stress on the group, but since we are talking about endgame here, most score pushing groups or most groups that want to do fast beam maw runs, they pull early. They focus the Sun Eater down, and the tanks handle the stack. And that's how you do it. There's two ways of stacking this. You can taunt the archers and the sword and boards as the main thing, and run up here, and they'll all gather at the foot of the stairs, or you can just do what I did to stack them. But otherwise, if you're in a progression group and they can't handle it, don't do this pull. It's like, you'll just kill people probably. Okay, so the first boss, really straightforward. Your main job is to not move the boss. Moving the boss is very detrimental to the group if you do it as a tank. It's just a huge DPS loss if you drag the boss. So again, clear communication between the tanks are needed, especially if both tanks get cursed or if one tank gets cursed. And you just want to play the buff and debuff game without Caution Crusher, just like every other boss. And now, when he does a smash on you, that means your armor's debuffed, like so, it's shattered. That means you have no resistances. You gotta block his swipes and stuff, otherwise you'll be in a lot of pain. As you can see, both tanks got cursed, Atmos taken. And then after Atmos cleanses, and you've confirmed he takes it, we're gonna go cleanse on the pad. And as a Dragon Knight tank, you want to chain in these cats and talons them. And you just kind of want to keep up your debuffs and such. And on the fourth pillar, you can tell your team to stock up, because after the fourth pillar spawns, there are no more curses. So we're just kind of waiting to see if Dargus or Atmos gets cursed. You guys can stack up, and you want to make sure you have. You want to make sure you have the cat's talons and chain. You don't want them to hit the group. You guys can stack up.
Right next to the pad.
And then this is the time to hide. And you want to make sure he's in like the blue pillar. Now, Atmos makes a fatal mistake here. He kind of moved, but not too much. So dots should be still rolling on the boss. And again, you have really nothing to do until the cat spawn. And there you go. And Atmos has let me know he's cursed. I've cleansed. I'm taking him. And we're gonna continue trying to chain in this cat. I think his scamp has CC them, so it's kind of hard. And as long as you're not cursed, you just keep taunt on the boss. Do not over taunt the boss, and by that I mean don't spam taunt. Atmos, I'm cursed. Again, clear communication, and until you come back, you're just gonna make sure you taunt, not taunt, chain in the cats, and you want to burn this as a group, because below 20% is usually a burn mark for most groups that have decent DPS, and after that, that's pretty much it. So two important points For this fight as a tank, clear communication between the off tank and main tank, and prioritizing chaining in the ads, and talonsing them. And we're gonna skip Blue here, guys. And Gagan is online, let's invite him. Obviously, a lot of progression groups will be more organized than that because people know where to position themselves. We're just kind of winging it. Okay, we're not gonna skip the ad phase, or the ads. I mean, we're actually gonna kill these guys. And you want to taunt these ogres as a main tank. If people stand too close to the ogres when the shaman starts doing his healing AoE thing, they're pretty much fucked. Now as a main tank here, you want to taunt the sword and board, archer, and leave the two-hander to the off tank. You can use this little alcove here to line of sight and stack the archers and sword and board like that. And once the Sun Eater's dead, you as the main tank, you grab the render, and the off tank can grab the shaman. And this way, you just kind of stack everything. And you want to make sure you bash the render when he starts screaming, like so. I'm gonna horn actually, just because. And that's it. That is how you do a very clean trash pull after Zhaj'hassa, post Zhaj'hassa trash pull. If you're in progression groups, they do it like pack by pack, like separately, which takes a bit longer, but this saves quite a bit of time. Here as the main tank, you want to taunt the Shadow Guard or just the Archer, depending on what your off tank wants to taunt. The key thing here is to go all the way down, keep going all the way down. Lots of people kind of just stop halfway. Don't half-ass it, keep going all the way down until the Archer is stacked on the next future Sun Eater spawn. Here we're going to get the render on the right side as the main tank. And make sure we apply main with the pack. We're going to start bashing the render towards the shaman. Unfortunately, shaman didn't stack very well. That's more on the off tank. And here we're gonna pretty much put the archer on the Sun Eater. And we can leave the sword and board and two-hander to the off tank so you can stack it immediately, them immediately on the Sun Eater. As you can see, really clean so far. And you know, archer is already almost dead, the two-hander is almost dead. But otherwise, you can have your own preferences as a tank team, which ads you want to take. Like, most groups have the main tank take the right side ads that spawn on every ad wave that spawns, right or left. So this one and the first one, I take right, and off tank takes left all the time. And here we want to bash the render. And here, we just want to taunt the shaman and render on the right side, and stack it on this Sun Eater, you know, horn here. And you want to again keep an eye on the render. You don't want him to go off. In the meantime, our off tank has stacked the archer and two-hander a little bit too religiously. Preferably, I'll show you guys how I stack these two ads. And then as the main tank, you want to taunt the Sun Eater over here and the Archer. These have been a little bit buggy recently, so it's like, it's gonna be a little weird. And you want to distance yourself from them so you can stack them with distance after you taunt them with range taunts. And they're okay, it's not a great stack, but it's not the worst. And the off tank, as you've noticed, took the two sword and board that spawn. Any questions for the... It's a lot to take in, but is there any questions for this trash pull? Or the gauntlet, as many refer to it? That entire...
So, well, I mean, going through all of it, the only thing I never heard mentioned that in my prog groups has always been kind of a priority. We split it up where the main tank takes everything but the savages, and then the off tank pulls the savages away so that they can't crack on that.
Okay, I'll go over that when I do off tanking. Because that's more of an off tank thing. We're gonna do the main tank. Here we're gonna make sure there's 6 people on each side. Now there are various ways tanks will do this. Some tanks go back to their original bosses, Some tanks stay where they are, and some groups have really weird strategies that just kill them, honestly. We're gonna do it a very efficient way, efficient strat. And I'll kind of point these things out while we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, we're good. Ready? Alright, on 3. 1, 2, 3. You want to pull with chains, because chains is a really unique ability. It aggroes pretty well compared to other skills. And as you can see, we have these bosses really close to each other. And you want to kind of step out if you need to taunt Skin Rai. And you want to keep Skin Rai middle. You can point him towards the group, but the healer needs to be aware that you're gonna do that, so the healer heals the group through his cleave. And you want to make sure you're bashing the ads when applicable. As you can see, we have his back Skin Rai towards the wall over there, rather than his back towards that door or that door. This is because I like it this way because the ads switch. As you can see, 2 people went the wrong way. You're not supposed to go from Skin Rai to Vashai around the wall. You're supposed to just cut through middle. But anyway, I like pointing his back towards the middle wall, Skin Rai, because it spawns his ads in such a way that they're really close to me, or in a favorable position. And here we've decided as tanks, we're just gonna stay with our current bosses. Now Vashai is going to be okay. Well, Atmos fucked up. He tried to do he tried to do Nephis. He fucked up. It's probably gonna be a wipe, so I'm gonna. It's a wipe. Atmos fucked this.
So I heard you say that we're not supposed to go around the outside.
Yes, if you're going from Skin Rai to Vashai, there's absolutely no reason, you're losing time, you're losing DPS, for you to just not cut your middle.
You haven't been in a progression group in a while.
I have been in the progression group.
You're saying one side doesn't go around the outside.
Yeah.
That's true.
One side will go.
What usually happens is some jackass also runs through middle from the other side and blows everybody up.
Well,
So
then
it's just
Well, it's a matter of timing. Now you can go all the way around, but the thing is you have a higher risk of dying because Vashai will negate you. And most people, for some reason, don't dodge around negates in progression groups, I've noticed. So it's like, pick your poison. Do you want to do more DPS and cut through middle? Or do you want to die? Alright, so let's form groups again, 6 on each side. And again, we're doing this in an efficient manner. I'm not going to show you guys shitty strats for progression groups. Even progression groups can do this. I think we're missing people on the exit side. No? We have enough people on the entrance. Can you spread out a little bit? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Come back, whoever that was.
somebody just...
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Again, we want to stack the bosses pretty close to each other. Add more cleave. And you want to have people stack on the tank, or the respective tanks, when the colors go out. So the colors don't get messed up. As you can see, no incidents. My own. We're gonna start buffing and debuffing.
My war.
And again, notice how I position Skin Rai. We're gonna keep that in mind for the next.
Healer swapping.
same. Just keep healing across.
Looks like someone swapped that shouldn't have swapped. Ghetto. Lol. Is everybody in this? Ghetto, you're
Hey,
not.
sorry, I think I forgot to swap, sorry.
Yeah, you're not supposed to swap when you don't swap. Probably a wipe. Let's pick it up quick, guys. Just stop resing and die, please. Please watch your colors. I'm not here to teach you, I'm here to teach the easy people. You guys should know the color mechanics. Okay, so groups again. Same group, same sides. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Counter one. Or whatever.
Yep.
I'm assuming we're using Hodor
Anyway.
for the most part.
As long as we don't wipe, I don't want to. Okay, and then color is gonna happen soon. You guys are tank, just keep on tanking.
My Lorkhaj.
Colors.
Healer staying. Oops.
JD, so I'm gonna clarify this. From Skinrai to Vashai, you cut. From Vashai to Skinrai, you can go a little around because the tanks are in the middle. The tank is in the middle.
Oh, dude, I'm way disoriented now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Speedrun, speedrun.
Not this.
That's not even like half the group.
Probably wipe. I can't blow people up. It's weird. I'm bugged. It's over. We'll see if we wipe again. We're not here pretty soon. So watch your colors. Really watch them, please. How does it feel to wipe on twins? Interesting. Okay, ready? Next person to blow us up. You owe us 1 mil gold each. 3, 2, 1. Okay, same thing. Bosses together, not 2 together. No 1, 2. Tan, as they assign colors, go back to the rear. Tan can you add. And Vashai is honestly the harder boss in this fight for whichever tank you have to hold him. Yeah.
Healer swapping.
My Lorkhaj.
Stay. You want to keep debuffing your boss until you have to taunt the other boss.
My horn.
I'll be next turn. Now notice how I position Vashai as a tank here. Please don't get too close to each other in the middle. I'm putting him towards middle, but not on the middle, because that's where the other tank is. And I'm putting him in a way I'm not against the wall. A lot of progression groups put him against the wall. That's a pretty bad thing, because you can't reach the Dark Dads when you do that. And you want to point him towards your right rather than towards your left, because he will negate the group.
Same.
Okay, that was a good negate placement.
Yeah, I'll heal entrance.
And then we're staying. And again, keep up your buffs and debuffs. You really need to stop doing that.
Speedrun, speedrun.
Not this.
And then you want to taunt Skin Right again. And you want to make sure you put Skin Right in the middle, rather than deep within the other half of the room. Now you can point them like this, like I did earlier, and as you notice, I can see to my right there are 2 ads at spawn, 3 ads. Really favorable positions. And here we are just going to kill Vashai. And that's it. Obviously groups will have different varying degrees of DPS, but That's just the general principle. Always make sure Vashai is closer to the middle rather than up against the wall, because it really helps you chain in the dark ads faster and more safer. And yes, the amount of negates is RNG based. Do you guys have any questions about that twins fight from a tank's perspective? That's gonna be the same regardless of whether you're the off tank or the main tank.
No, and I'm sure as irritating as it was, actually being able to watch it a couple times was helpful.
Perfect. Here we're gonna pull. Now, if you have these blue markers on you, or the cat is red for you, you need to get the fuck away. You can't block it, unless you can dodge roll the swipes. So our friend Rogetto here, he died to the swipe, and our friend Gagan here, he died to the swipe. So just it's best to just run around together rather than separately to stack these cats as they die. Just showing them what not to do. Alright. So just for the sake of teaching, we're just gonna do one chain pull at a time. Can someone pull the left chain? Okay, so as the main tank here, we're gonna leave the 2-hander to the off tank. We're gonna taunt the archer
My horn.
over there. There's 2 ways to stack this. I like it this way, but you can actually stack both archers on the sun or towards the sun eater by going the opposite way. It's just a preference. But as long as they're relatively stacked close enough that all dots are hitting him, it's fine. For this second wave here, we're gonna taunt Sword and Borns, have the Sun Eaters face away from the group by taunting them, we're gonna Horn, we're gonna Lorkhaj, and then these will die. Now, if you happen to get a negate on you as a tank, it's fine to stand in one. You just can't cast magic abilities. And your group needs to prioritize targeting the Sun Eaters first above everything else. Same thing here, we're gonna grab the Sword and Borns and this Archer, and we're just gonna have 2 Sun Eaters again, and stack it on the Sun Eaters. Pretty basic, nothing complicated, and the off tank gets 1 ad. Now if you're fast enough, you can position the negates in such a way it doesn't slow down DPS, but that's something you're gonna have to get used to. Someone pull the right chain, please. For the first wave, you don't really have to stack much. You can put the Sword and Board in between the Archer and the Sun Eater. This way, everything's just kind of stacked together. The second wave is gonna be a little bit different. You're gonna have to leave the Sword and Borns to the off tank, and you're gonna stack the Archer over here and go this way. And you're gonna stack the Archer on the Sun Eater right there, provided he doesn't do ability like that. That way, everything, the Sun Eater and the 2 Archers are stacked. And this dies. Unfortunately, that's a bug where the Eclipse doesn't go away. Here you're gonna do the opposite. You're gonna actually get this Archer and this Sword and Board, and grab this Archer over here, and go the opposite way. Because everything's a little bit closer to the right, rather than to the left this time. Unfortunately, this Archer didn't follow us. But you guys get the idea. And that is it. That's all 3 waves on the right.
This is the last one, yes? Yes. Just a bit further.
Your songs are powerless.
Okay, next is the last trash of VMA for the main tank. I don't know why I got this fucking Crown Star advertisement. Alright, anyway. As the main tank here, I'll show you guys how to stack it. Off tank gets his 2-hander, does whatever with it. So there's going to be an Archer and a Sword and Board that spawn on the left hand side here. And you can use this little alcove on the left to stack the Archer like that, so it's closer to the group. So when they transition to target the Archer and the Sword and Board, it's not too far away. It saves some time. And here the 2-hander's almost dead, and everything's going to die here pretty soon. Now if you're in a good group with, or not a good group, if you have a good off-tank partner, he can handle both 2-handers, so you don't have to take one. And if people are going to focus the Sun Eater on the left first, then you can use this alcove again to sort of stack it either in this corner or against this alcove. It doesn't really matter, it's all up to you. Yeah, I made a mistake with that archer. It's pretty bad. And then the 2 inners will be stacked on whichever range that is aligned. Last add wave, it's a little bit more complicated. We're gonna grab the archers on both ends here, along with the sword board, and whichever Sun Eater the group is not focusing. And I accidentally grabbed fucking Savage, my bad. And you wanna let your off tank know that you grabbed the wrong thing, especially if it's a 2-hander. You can use either of these 2 corners here to stack this relatively okay. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I really cannot talk and play the same game. Alright, and that's the last wave.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, if you're talking about what you've already done, it's hard to, like, think of what you're going to do.
Alright, so last boss. Really easy. But I'm gonna show you guys really basic stuff. Who are the runners? Can we clarify so we don't wait?
Cheppy's running left.
Cheppy is running left. Who's right? Bob is right. Okay, nobody else go back. Nobody else die. I'm not gonna explain the general mechanics. I'm just gonna focus on the main tech mechanics. So hopefully you guys don't like this. All right. So again, depends on what skills the other tank or other support rules are running. But generally, the main tank can run Blood Altar. Even before Blood Altar was instacast, the main tanks generally ran it, and obviously you can swap out a bunch of other skills for the single target fight. It's mostly a single target fight on both hard mode and normal. Now here you want to set your Crusher down, taunt Rakkhat, and apply Alkaj, and you're pretty much done. You just stagger. Now for the very first positioning on the first Lunar Pen, you want to stand right here on this edge, and you'll see why. If I stand more to the right or more to the left, then he's gonna be not very close to the group.
My horn?
That'll be next one. And you just kind of want to roleplay. You taunt him again, and you go to pad 2. And notice where I'm standing. I'm not standing in the middle of the pad, I'm not standing more to the left or more to the right. I'm kind of standing in the middle. And here we're going to expect a bash. We bash that.
Alright, I'm on in there then.
My horn. Okay.
And here, a lot of tanks make the mistake of blocking the meteors, and we are actually going to show you a hook. A hook is a movement going like that, so the Hulk doesn't push Rakkhat off the pad once the Rakkhat ports. Sorry, my brain's lagging. And here's the gun. You obviously don't want to debuff yourself or anything. You want to keep him taunted. Igneous is fine. Absorb Magicka is fine. You don't want him to reflect his gun. If you reflect his gun, it heals him. It's not like Valerio when you can reflect his stuff back at him. And here, you don't really have to block much. It's a not very block intensive fight. Block the Rushing Wings. And when he does meteors, you don't even have to block the meteors, or because you'll be sprinting quite a bit if you want.
My Warhorn?
Here are the meteors, just to show you an example. I'm not blocking, he's swiping me, I'm not blocking, I'm running. It's whatever. As long as we're on the pad, he doesn't do much. Just block his heavies and we're good. My own. Seems we have 2 people there. That's fine. We have a gun. Looks like my skills aren't giving me. Okay, and you want to taunt Rakkhat before transition. Note again where I'm standing. A lot of main tanks stand in really weird spots. Same exact positioning, expect to bash, block. Meteors. And again, you don't have to block these meteors, you can just kind of sprint around or shift around. And the off tank, no. And you don't want to do what I just said, because that's pretty terrible. God, my mind is just kind of wondering. And again, same positioning. Debuff, buff. And if your group has a high enough DPS like we do, you don't have to run back. Pad 5 burns are generally, or Pad 5 or Pad 7 burns are generally doable for even for progression groups. So at worst, your progression group may need to run twice. That's it. Depending on how long the execute lasts, it can be pretty painful for a tank, but otherwise, I can't show you guys. But that's it. That's VMAW as the main thing. Thanks for coming, guys. And I think we had a couple people who cleared for the first time in this group as well. So congrats to the people who cleared for the first time.
And speedrunning.
Yeah, speedrunning.